Hey, hello, welcome to another episode of In the Lab with Loctite. So we're going to continue to talk about adhesives today. We're going to talk about adhesives troubleshooting. Well, like with any good product, there's always room for improvement. So I think what I'd really like to call this is adhesives forensics. Now, I have no idea what I'm talking about, so I'm going to bring in another Henkel application engineer expert, Matt.
Hey, Phil.
How's it going? Long time no see.
Long time no see.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. You're going to be my forensics expert today.
All right.
Okay? So what do we have sitting here in front of us?
So in the Henkel term of forensics, we call this failure mode.
Okay.
So looking at a bonded joint that has failed, we want to know why it failed, really.
Absolutely.
So here on the right, we'll start with what we would consider adhesion failure. So we have adhesive on one surface, but not on the other surface. Now this could be to something on the surface. For example, if you put a sample in a plastic bag, well, there's a release agent in the bag that may be rubbed off on the surface that needs to be cleaned before you can bond it. So something like this, maybe the surface wasn't cleaned.
Okay.
So
Oh, that
surface
makes sense.
preparation. All right. So now here we have what we call cohesion failure. So this is the actual failure of the adhesive itself. So you reach the capacity of what its material properties are. So the adhesion between the molecules are failing before the adhesion to the surface.
Oh, okay. So this bond actually worked really well.
Correct.
Right? The substrates didn't get damaged at all. They worked fine, but we exceeded the capacity of the bonding material.
Correct. This is the best scenario of the
Pretty good.
adhesive itself.
Yeah.
So in order to correct this issue, you may need to go to a more rigid material to help structure that joint better.
Okay, so we have adhesion and we have cohesion.
Yep. So what do you
Okay.
think this one is?
All right. Oh, okay. All right. So let me take a guess at this. So if I look at this closely, we have a surface here that looks like we have some really good adhesion here. Right?
Yep.
And if I look at this surface, this one has some really good adhesion right in the middle. So that tells me that it's an adhesion failure because you have good contact with the surface and it adhered to it.
Right. So the key thing to look at here is how it adhered to the surface. So we're seeing here there's the metal. So the adhesive did not stick here on this side of the metal, and on the other side, here there actually is the adhesive. So it stuck to this surface, but not this surface. So just like we had here, there's adhesive on one surface, but not the other. So even though we have product on both surfaces, like we had here, they fit together like a puzzle because it didn't stick here, but it did stick there. And conversely, it didn't stick here, but it stuck there. So some of these failure modes can be somewhat complicated, and you can even have some adhesion and cohesion within the same part.
All right, so what do we have here?
So this is what we consider substrate failure. So this metal actually is broken before the adhesive broke. So in this scenario, it's the best one for us at Henkel because our adhesive outperformed the substrate. But from a designer or a manufacturing standpoint, you may want to make this thicker to prevent your substrate from breaking.
So all of these failures really help you out in the lab to understand the product better and to make improvements on it, correct?
Absolutely. We have a team of engineers here. We have a team of lab staff that can really help diagnose these failures and even speccing in new products for a new application.
Awesome. That makes sense to me. All right. Matt, thanks a lot for coming in. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Wow, that's another episode of In the Lab with Loctite. For everyone watching, if you have any questions on this topic or any other topics that you would like to see explained on future segments, just call the Henkel Technical Information Line at 1-800-LOCTITE.